Hi everyone, my name is Adriana and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be making Christmas ornaments out of many frames I thrifted. A few I purchased at the local thrift store for $1 and others were gifted to me. This is nothing difficult, anyone can do it. I just figured I'm making this for an upcoming craft show and thought I'd share how you can give new life to items without spending a lot of money. I first took them apart and gave them a good clean. These 3 frames I painted the glass with 2 coats of chalk paint. I like to do this on any surface I'm going to decoupage. This makes the print brighter. After the chalk paint was dried, I used a matte finish Mod Podge. Oh, I didn't show this part, but when you decoupage with napkin, you need to get the napkin down to a 1-ply, which is actually the print. I then placed the napkin on the glass and went over it with my brayer. If you don't have a brayer, you can use saran wrap or just use a brush. Now I'm going to seal it with a thin layer of the Mod Podge. You could wait until it dries before you move on to this step. It's up to you, but just be careful. You can tear the tissue. Now that it's fully dried, I used a heat gun, but if you don't have one, just wait until it fully dries. Then I took this little hand sander I purchased at Home Depot. I love it. It has like a Velcro, so you can remove the little pads. I went around all the edges, just like in a downward motion. To me, it gives it a nice, clean cut. If you don't have that, you can use a scissor or you can even use an X-Acto knife. It's up to you. I just wouldn't tear around the edges, again, just use a scissor to get a nice clean edge. Now I'm going to share with you one of my must-haves in my craft room, this little mini ladybug vacuum cleaner. My sister Carrie gifted to me for Christmas one year. I just love this little thing. Here I started to put the picture frames back together, and that's when I realized I made a little bit of a mistake. When I decoupaged the cardinal onto the glass, I should have checked to see if it was actually within the picture frame. So a little bit of the cardinal's head is not in the frame. I am going to add some greenery and berries on the top, as well as a velvet ribbon hanger. So I don't think it'll look too bad. But now I know to make sure when I do the other frames. Here I'm going to put some greenery on top of the frame. I purchased this at Michael's by the pack. They're almost like pipe cleaners. So I'm using my wire cutters. I cut 2 pieces and I glue them, forming like a swag. And then I'm going to take some berries, which I clip 2 little pieces off. And I'm going to glue them right in the center to give it, a cute little swag. Then I'm going to take some ribbon that I purchased from Amazon. I really like this ribbon. It's velvet. Has like a fray look. So if you want to cut it and make it thinner, which I'm going to do here. So you just make a little snip and then you tear it so it also fray. So you have the fray look on both sides of, the ribbon. And then I'm going to tie a little knot and secure it in the back with a little bit of hot glue. And also so you keep the frame from tilting forward when you do hang it, I'm going to put some more glue in between the frame and the ribbon to secure it a little bit better. Now I'm just making sure everything's secured, the ribbon to the back so it won't tilt over, cleaning it up, and these 3 are done. Here I'm going to move on to the 2 frames that were gifted to me. They're a little bit more vintage. They are metal. I'm taking them apart and I'm going to give them a good cleaning with a Clorox wipe. One thing about working with things that are a little bit older, I did find a note in the one frame. It said, "To Grandma, love." I don't remember the name, but it was really sweet. I did get it on camera. When you use napkins to decoupage, you need to remove the layers of tissue so you're left with the 1-ply, which is actually the pattern. On this frame, I'm going to do things a little bit differently. I took the glass and I traced it out on a piece of white cardstock. So I'm not going to paint white chalk paint. You could do it this way. It's up to you. There's so many different techniques. So if anybody wants to use the frame again, they actually just remove the piece of cardstock and they will have the frame. I painted the matte Mod Podge and put it on the cardstock. I took the cardinal print and placed it on there. Again, carefully, because you can rip the tissue. I took my brayer. I went over it a few times to try and get the wrinkle out as much as you can. And that's one way of doing it. On the next frame, I'm going to go back to using the Mod Podge actually on the glass. So here I'm going to cut out another piece of cardstock to fit the back of the frame. And then I'm going to take the matte finish Mod Podge, paint it on the glass after I cleaned it. And then I'm going to take the cardinal tissue paper, but this time you got to make sure when you reverse it, you can actually see the, the good side you're placing down instead of the other way. Sealing it again carefully with the Mod Podge. Obviously, I can't use my brayer. It is a tight spot. Here I'm going to be jumping around a little. I hope I don't make you dizzy. I'm adding the last coat of the matte Mod Podge. While they dry, I'm going to make some tags. I purchased these little stamps. The letters connect together, so it gives you a nice spacing when you're spelling out a word. On any vintage or upcycled item, on the back of my tags, I do have that spelled out so the customer knows. I used the cord that was already attached to the frame. I just had to glue it together. I took that wire greenery, wrapped it around a little bit, and then glued one of the bows I made. I like to make bows out of tea towels. I buy them at Walmart. I do dye them in either coffee or tea to give it a vintage look, and then I cut them down into strips. I took a little piece of lace, attached the tag, and here it is all finished. I think this one is probably my favorite one. Well guys, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed how I gave new life to these thrifted frames. If you would please give me a like, and if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. I want to wish you and your family a happy and healthy holiday. Until next time, my friends, ciao.